హలో ఏంటి బ్రో అసలు నాకేం చూపించలేదమ్మా. వీళ్ళేమో అదేంటి అడుగుతున్నారు, సబ్మిట్ చేయాల్సి వస్తారు. మీకేమో మార్కులు తెలుసు కదా, ఎలా చేసినాం. మరి అది జాగ్రత్తగా చేసి నోట్ చూసి దగ్గర మళ్ళీ ఇది చేసుకోవద్దు. చెయ్యాలి, చెప్పే కదా, అది మస్ట్. అది యూనివర్సిటీకి పంపాలి. అందువల్ల జాబ్ చేయండి. నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. కాల్ మీ ఎట్ 1 o'clock. ఓకే ఓకే. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, last time we discussed about work and heat, and what are the exact definitions or inexact definitions? Heat and work we discussed in the last class. Because why I am asking you again is because more emphasis has to be put on these two words, which play a vital role in the entire thermodynamics subject. If you understand heat and work, you will understand thermodynamics very smoothly, and it will be a smooth sailing to you all through. Therefore, you have to pay more attention on these words, and you have to understand these words thoroughly. What do you mean by exact differential and inexact differential? So far, no test has been conducted, and of course, after the principles are over or learned, we will go for a test later on. However, I hope you will face the test very smoothly, and you will answer the questions very easily, because all of you are responding in a smooth manner, very to the point you are responding, no doubt. Okay, I repeat, what are heat and work? Whether they are exact differentials or inexact differentials. People are slowly joining, and it should not be the case for all the people and all the times. Okay.
Sir, heat transfers first thermal energy between systems, sir.
Thermal energy?
Thermal energy between systems, sir.
No, you tell me with a single word. Heat transfer delta Q and work transfer delta W, whether these are exact differentials or inexact differentials. Exact differential or inexact. Heat is dash. Exact or inexact. Differential. I repeat, once you understand these two terms, that is heat and work, you will understand thermodynamics very smoothly. And what is required here is simple mathematical knowledge, not a very complicated knowledge. That's why I said it will be smooth sailing all through. Okay. Again, what do you mean by exact differential actually? Exact differential. An exact differential is, for example, dx or dy or dp. I said all the properties of thermodynamic state, say pressure, volume, specific volume, density, are all properties, and these are exact differentials. And these can be integrable. That means integral dp is p, and integral dp from state point 1 to state point 2. That means the pressure variation when a process has occurred, say 1 to 2 process, then the pressure variation between 1 and 2, state 1 and state 2, can be found by using integral dp, which is equal to p2 minus p1. That means at any state, the pressure can be defined. At any state, pressure can be defined. That is, at point 1, pressure is P1, and at point 2, pressure is P2, like that. Similarly, specific volume. At point 1, specific volume is V1. At point 2, specific volume is V2. Similarly, density, ρ1, ρ2. Similarly, specific weight, W1, W2, like that. And similarly, temperature, T1, T2, at state 1 and state 2, respectively, like that. Like that, all the properties which we discussed earlier are all exact differentials, or in converse, we state that all exact differentials are properties, like that. And we discussed that heat and work of a system, in a system, if several processes are there, heat and work are not properties of the system, are not properties of the system, and therefore they are not exact differentials. That means these cannot be defined at a particular state. Say at state 1, we cannot say the work is W1. We should not say like that. And we should not say heat at a specific state 1, Q1. We should not say heat at state 1 is Q1. In that way, heat and work are inexact differentials. That means they cannot be stated at a specific point. That means they cannot be written at a specific point, or at a specific point the heat cannot be defined or work cannot be defined. Therefore, heat and work are inexact differentials. Inexact differentials. So they cannot be integrable. They cannot be integrable. That means we cannot write integral dq. Instead, we write integral delta q. And of course, the value should be written directly. In a certain process, we write delta q over a certain process is, say for example, in the last class we discussed it. See, in the last class we discussed the specific volume, because specific volume is a property. It can be stated at point 2 and point 1. That means the value can be known at a specific point for all properties, all properties. And see, for heat, we cannot write at a specific point. That means integral delta Q over a process cannot be written or should not be written as Q2 minus Q1, but it can be written 1Q2 or Q12 like this. That means the heat value which is the area under process 1 to 2, the area under process 1 to 2. In that way, for work also, we write like this. See the sign convention for work, and we write, see here, for work also, integral delta W over a process 1 to 2 is equal to W12 or 1W2 or simply capital W, and it should not be written W1 minus W2 because at a particular state it cannot be stated, it cannot be written, it cannot be calculated. So therefore, heat and work are inexact differentials. Therefore, they should not be written as dW. Instead, they are written as delta W. And similarly, the heat liberated or gained in a certain process 1 to 2 should not be written as dQ over process 1 to 2. It should be written as delta Q over a process 1 to 2, and it is calculated as the area under that process, and it is Q12 or 1Q2 or simply capital Q. Now tell me again, I am asking you, what is an exact differential? What do you mean by exact differential? And here your mathematical knowledge is tested repeatedly, because this simple mathematics, if known by you, it will be a cakewalk for anybody. I told you, it will be a smooth sailing, and this thermodynamics or this subject is a very easy subject if simple mathematics is applied here. And I assume all of you know this simple mathematics, no doubt, but it should be applied without any doubt. And you may be feeling that what is this mathematics? This may be a complicated subject, but nothing complicated. No complicated mathematics is applied anywhere in thermodynamics. Only simple mathematics is applied. So dQ is an exact differential is written dQ or dx or dy like that. An inexact differential is written as delta x, delta y, where x and y are some parameters. Now, what is an exact differential? See, okay, among participants, if I ask somebody, you have to switch on your video to enable attendance also. If you don't respond with your video, maybe your attendance may not be given. Okay, number 3. What do you mean by an exact differential? So you are not.
Sir.
What do you mean by an exact differential?
Exact differential means, sir, the work done between the systems, sir.
No, I am asking you simple mathematics. Don't give complicated answers. You give me simple mathematics. I am asking you. What is an exact differential? Okay, any of your friends, number 5?
Sir, dW is equal to
Ah,
PD, sir, where P is pressure,
ah.
dV is the differential of volume, V, sir.
Okay, but here, okay, that we will come to that point later on. Here we discussed, as you said, here we discussed that, but nowhere I have written PD, but we discussed it no doubt. PDV we discussed in this case. Okay, you understood, but you are
Sir,
feeling some difficulty in conveying. Okay, I will come at.
means
Okay,
తెలుగులో కొంచెం చెప్తే అర్థం సార్.
in Telugulona.
సార్ లైట్గా.
Light ga, because this is a okay, you may be from Telugu medium, but still you will understand. No complicated English is used here. However, definitely I will help you when you feel difficulty. ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జాక్ట్ డిఫరెన్షియల్ అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డిఎక్స్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ డిఎక్స్ ఈజ్ ఎక్స్ ప్లస్ సి, రైట్?
సార్
But integral delta x you have not seen. So delta x there is inexact differential. అంటే డెల్టా ఎక్స్ అక్కడ ఇన్ఎగ్జాక్ట్ డిఫరెన్షియల్ అది. అంటే దాన్ని డిఫరెన్షియల్ ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయలేము, దాన్ని ఇన్ఎగ్జాక్ట్ డిఫరెన్షియల్ అంటాం డెల్టా ఎక్స్. we call an exact differential as dx, not delta x. Adi. So that dx can be integrable. But delta x, if you write, that is called inexact differential. Inexact differential. That means we cannot integrate it over a process. ఒక ప్రాసెస్ జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు దాన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయలేమంటే అది ఇన్ఎగ్జాక్ట్ డిఫరెన్షియల్. అలాంటి కోవలోకి వచ్చే ఈ వర్క్ హీట్. అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ వీ కెనాట్ define this work and heat at a specific point like pressure, integral dp over a point, say over a point 1 and 2, over a process 1 and 2, like this over a process 1 and 2. Because volume is a property, this is an exact differential. That means volume can be defined at state point 1 and at state point 2. For example, in order to understand for example, in depth, you take this diagram. For example, initially the piston is at state point 1 here. What is the volume here at point 1?
V1, sir.
V1. Is it larger than V2 or smaller than V2?
Larger than V2,
Larger
sir.
than V2. So in that way, volume can be defined at point 1. At point 1, that it is larger, say 5 meter cube. Similarly, at point 2, the volume can be defined, that is smaller, say 2 meter cube. Here 5, 2. So in that way, at state point 1, that is where the piston is here, the volume can be defined means 5 meter cube, we can read it. ఈ వాల్యూమ్ యాక్సిస్ మీద ఇది ఎంతైతే ఉన్నదో ఈ వాల్యూ అంత V1 వాల్యూ అంతని అంటాం. అలాగే సిమిలర్లీ V2 ఇక్కడైతే ఎంతైతే వాల్యూ ఉందో ఆ వాల్యూ మనం రీడ్ చేసి అది 2 మీటర్ క్యూబో లేదా 3 మీటర్ క్యూబో అంటాం. అలా ఈ ప్రాసెస్ జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు ప్రాసెస్ 1 to 2 వాల్యూమ్ మనం చెప్పొచ్చు, ప్రెషర్ చెప్పొచ్చు. ప్రెషర్ P1 ఈజ్ హయ్యర్ ఆర్ స్మాలర్ దాన్ P2 హియర్?
P2 is high pressure, P1 where the P1, sir.
Like that. P2 is higher, P1 is lower.
P1 is lower.
Here, in that way, we can define very smoothly. here by reading the volume axis and pressure axis. Now, whereas, therefore, these are called exact differentials at any point. For example, a certain point here also, say here, where arrow has been put on the line 1 to 2. అక్కడ పెట్టాం యారో. ఆ పాయింట్ దగ్గర కూడా మనం రీడ్ చేయొచ్చు వాల్యూమ్ ఎంత, ప్రెషర్ ఎంత అనేది. ఆ పాయింట్ దగ్గర ఏంటి, ఒక వర్టికల్ లైన్, ఒక హార్జాంటల్ లైన్ గీసి ఆ ప్రెషర్ యాక్సిస్ మీద ఎంత వాల్యూ ఉంది, వాల్యూమ్ యాక్సిస్ మీద ఎంత వాల్యూ ఉంది రీడ్ చేస్తాం. అలాగా ఈ వర్క్ కావాలంటే ఈ యాక్సిస్ మీద మనం ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ డైరెక్ట్గా రీడ్ చేయలేము. మరి ఎలా కనుక్కుంటామంటే బిట్వీన్ ప్రాసెస్ 1 to 2 వాట్ ఈస్ ద area under this line 1 to 2, which has been told by you as integral PdV. Integral PdV formula ఉపయోగించి అంటే ఏరియా అండర్ దిస్ ప్రాసెస్ 1 to 2, ఏరియా అండర్ దిస్ ప్రాసెస్ 1 to 2, ఈ ఏరియా ఎంత అనేది ఇంటిగ్రల్ పీడీవీ ద్వారా కనుక్కొని, అంటే పీవీ రిలేషన్, పీవీ పవర్ గామా ఈక్వల్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అని చెప్పి ప్రెషర్ బదులు సి బై వి పవర్ గామా, ఇంటిగ్రల్ పీడీవీలో ప్రెషర్ బదులు సి బై వి పవర్ గామా వేసి ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసి ఇంటిగ్రల్ వాల్యూ ఎంత వచ్చింది, ఆ వచ్చిన వాల్యూని మనం వర్క్ ఇంత అని అంటాం. అంటే డెల్టా డబ్ల్యూ ఓవర్ 1 to 2 ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు దిస్ మచ్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ పీడీవీ ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ 1 to 2 సబ్జెక్టెడ్ టు పీవీ పవర్ గామా ఈక్వల్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అనే దాని ఆ వాల్యూ ఎంత అయితే అంత మనం క్యాల్కులేట్ చేసి, ఇక్కడ యాక్చువల్గా నిన్న క్యాల్కులేటర్స్ ఉంచుకోండి మీ దగ్గర అందం, ఎందుకంటే ఒక సింపుల్ ప్రాబ్లం ఇలాంటి త్వరగా చేద్దామని అన్నాను. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అన్నాను ఎందుకంటే అందుకు. ఓకే, ఎనీ హౌ వీ విల్ డూ ఇన్ ద కమింగ్ టైమ్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ పర్మిట్స్. అలాగా ఈ డబ్ల్యూ వాల్యూ కావాలంటే ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాల్సిందే, ఈ 1 to 2 మధ్య ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాల్సిందే. అక్కడ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ పీడీవీ ఒక పేపర్ ఉంటే తీసుకొని రాసుకోండి. ఇంటిగ్రల్ పీడీవీ వాల్యూ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ పీవీ పవర్ గామా. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ unmute your mics while you are listening to the class. Okay, you maintain integral PdV, PV power gamma equal constant, gamma value 1.4 AC. ఆ వాల్యూ Pని PV power gamma equal constant అని రాసి P is equal to C by V power gamma రాసి, రైట్. వాల్యూమ్ 1 to 2, 1 to 5 ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఇక్కడ వాల్యూమ్ V1 5 అనుకున్నాం కదా, 5 to 2, 5 మీటర్ క్యూబ్ 2 మీటర్ క్యూబ్ అని ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ లిమిట్స్ తీసుకొని, అలా ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ లిమిట్స్ తీసుకొని సి వాల్యూ ఇస్తే మనం దాన్ని ఆ వాల్యూని కనుక్కోవచ్చు. ఓకే, యూ డూ ఇన్ ద later stage. Okay, what is stored energy and what is energy in transit? Stored energy. What is energy in transit? Energy in transit is we discussed
Heat, sir.
Heat, and also work. Work also is energy in transit. That means while they cross the system boundary, then only we observe these two parameters while they cross the system. But we cannot observe these within a system. That is, the gas has some heat, the gas has stored some heat, we cannot say. Only when they cross the system. For example, here once this is given some heat, say 200 calories, then we observe that heat given to the system is 200 calories. And here, when work is crossing like this, we say that some work is done by the system, like that. So energy in transit and energy in storage. Storage is internal energy, kinetic energy, potential energy. They are energy in storage, but energy in transit are work and heat. The sign convention for work is defined in the earlier class. Work output from the system or work done by system is positive. Work done on a system is negative. So this is the sign convention followed all over the world. Similarly, heat. The sign convention for heat, the heat that is given to a system or received by the system is positive and heat rejected by the system is negative. If a system is rejecting heat, it is taken as negative heat. And if a system is absorbing heat, receiving heat, it is taken as positive. This sign convention has been followed throughout thermodynamics, and of course, this is followed unique. These are the unique conventions followed all over the world, and we have to remember. You have to remember these sign convention. See, systems possess energy, but not work or heat. So that is what energy in transit. Energy in transit is again written here. Systems possess energy, that is internal energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, like that. For potential energy, I have given you an example yesterday. How was it defined? How was it explained? Potential energy, for example. If a system has some potential energy, or in other way, we explained in what way we discussed it. Potential energy. A stone has been taken, for example. If it is at a certain height, then we say that it will possess some potential energy. It will have some potential energy by virtue of its height, by virtue of its height from the ground. Similarly, the same stone, if it is on the ground, it will not have that much potential energy. Like that. Like that, systems possess energy based on their position sometimes and their velocity. And if suppose a stable system, there cannot be work transfer and there cannot be any energy transfer in stable system. Now coming to an important parameter, concept, temperature. How will you say that a certain body is at a certain temperature in general? Or a body is a hot body or cold body, how will you tell? I am not showing the slide because I am expecting some general answer from you by using common sense. How will you say that a certain body is a cold body or a hot body? How will you say? Okay, this is a common question. Yes, this body is hot. How will you say?
By touching the body, sir.
That's all. That's all. Not more than that. By touching the body simply, you will say that the body is hot. Or if it is a cool body, by touching it, we will feel cold. And in that way, by common sense, we can tell. So it can be measured. It can be measured in thermodynamics. And there is a basis for measurement. And there are some measuring devices, of course. And thermometers are there for ordinary temperatures. And for very high temperatures, some pyrometers are there. We will see in the later studies thoroughly. A pyrometer measures very high temperatures, or in the order of 1000 degrees centigrade, pyrometers are used. And temperature, in general, ordinary thermometers are used like that, like that. Thermal, it is a thermostat of body which distinguishes hot from cold. Thermostat of a body, as you said, by touching a hot body, you will say that it is hot. So thermostat means the molecular energy stored in the body. If some molecular energy is stored, and if the temperature of the body is raised, by touching it, you will sense it. You will sense it. See, all this, what is written here, you just read, but not remember. Remember, for example, this second paragraph, some sentence given. The temperature of body is proportional to stored molecular energy. The average molecular energy of the molecules in a system. The average molecular energy, kinetic energy of the molecules in a system. A particular molecule does not have a temperature. It has energy. The gas as a system has temperature. All this is, of course, given. You need not read through all these sentences, but you use common sense for temperature. Number one is the temperature is a thermostat of a body, as you said, which distinguishes a hot body from cold body. Like what is the temperature of ice? You know, at atmospheric pressure, what is the temperature of ice?
0 degrees Celsius.
That's all, 0 degree centigrade. Similarly, at atmospheric pressure, what is at what temperature will water boil?
100 degrees temperature.
100 degrees, sir.
100 degree centigrade. All of we know that, you remember that much, not all these petty sentences. Why this is given? Just to in textbooks, all these petty things will be given, but you need not worry about all this. You just read and you leave it. You need not reproduce what is given here or what is there in the textbooks. All these petty paragraphs, petty things you can ignore. But only thing is, the important things you can read, and you can grasp the first paragraph and the last paragraph. You can grasp. Of course, the energy stored, molecular energy stored. When a body is heated, definitely all molecules will be heated. That is what molecular energy stored. You know very well. The molecules vibrate. The molecule with some energy levels like that, depending on the temperature. All of we know, but what is given in this paragraph, you need not worry. You can frame your own sentences by your common sense later, in the later stages. And there are two temperature scales defined. Again, what are the temperature scales? In common practice, just we discussed ice point, which is 0 degree centigrade, and steam point, which is 100 degree centigrade at 1 atmospheric pressure. Based on these two temperature scales, there is thermometers or temperature measuring instruments have been made based on two reference points, two reference scales. One is 0 degree centigrade. What is 0 degree centigrade? Ice point. What is 100 degree centigrade? Steam point. That's all. So based on based on these two temperature scales, see for example, if you use 0 degree centigrade, and there is one more scale, of course, absolute zero temperature, temperature, where the gas will not occupy any volume. A gas will not occupy any volume, and that temperature at which the gas will not occupy any volume is called absolute zero temperature. And at absolute zero temperature, you know, the temperature is 0 Kelvin, or minus 273.15 degrees centigrade, minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. That is one scale which we use in the as a temperature scale, absolute zero temperature scale. One more is some people are still you don't raise your hands. If you have any doubt, you ask. And absolute zero, if temperatures are measured with absolute zero as basis, they are called absolute temperatures. And if 0 degree centigrade is taken as ice point is taken as a reference, then we call it as so here you see a gas will not occupy any volume at a certain temperature. This temperature is known as absolute zero temperature. The temperatures measured with absolute zero as basis are called absolute temperatures. And the point of absolute temperature is found to occur at 273.15 degrees centigrade below the freezing point of water. That is below 0 degree centigrade, and this is 273.15 below 0 degree centigrade. And absolute temperature is equal to thermometer reading in degree centigrade plus 273.15 Kelvin. For example, a thermometer and all temperature measuring gauges, all temperature measuring gauges in general, they measure temperature above 0 degree centigrade, above 0 degree centigrade, and they are called gauge temperatures. For example, we will come across this point later. For example, a thermometer records say 20 degrees centigrade. 20 degrees centigrade. If I ask you what is the absolute temperature, and it will be 20 plus 273.15 Kelvin. Kelvin. This 273.15 is it is 273.15 Kelvin is nothing but to get absolute temperature, this much has to be added. Where from 0 Kelvin to 273.15 Kelvin. That means 0 degree centigrade is also read as 273.15 Kelvin. Okay, I repeat this again whenever required. 0 degree centigrade is also equal to 273.15 Kelvin, where 0 Kelvin is absolute zero temperature. Absolute zero temperature. And all temperature measuring devices, they measure temperature in gauge, that is above 0 degree centigrade only they measure. And for example, a thermometer records 20 degrees centigrade, and if I ask you what is absolute temperature, it will be 20 plus 273.15, therefore it will be 293.15 Kelvin, like that. And there is a law called zeroth law of thermodynamics. It states that if any two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, then the three bodies will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. With each other. I repeat, if any two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, and we say that all the three bodies will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. What is thermal equilibrium? See, you see this, zeroth law of thermodynamics. If there are three bodies taken, body 1, body 2, body 3. If body 1 is in thermal equilibrium with body 2, and body 1 is also in thermal equilibrium with body 3, then we say that body 2 and 3 will also be in thermal equilibrium. Don't be confused. You will explain this in any way if you wish. What do you mean by thermal equilibrium? We discussed this while discussing thermodynamic equilibrium. A thermal equilibrium is said to be established between two bodies when a certain parameters of the two bodies is equal. What is that certain parameter?
Temperature, sir.
Temperature, that's all. Temperature. So in that way, see, you are answering only when the question is put in length. But I expect the same answer in length from you. You definitely will grasp, no doubt. And your knowledge level will be tested only when I ask you in length, like that. In that way, a thermal equilibrium is said to be, somebody is entering now, number 24. I don't know why he is entering at the last minutes. Number 324. But see, every aspect will be recorded here. For example, if somebody enters at the very beginning, and it will be recorded. Mute your mics. Mute your mics. Who is 324? What is your name? Okay. No problem. Here, remember that every moving will be recorded. Huh? Who is number 324? Okay. When, for example, three bodies are considered, body 1, body 2, body 3. I am saying body one is in thermal equilibrium with body 2 and simultaneously with body 3 also. Now I am converting the zeroth law into a little bit few words. I repeat, if body 1 is in thermal equilibrium with body 2 and simultaneously in thermal equilibrium with body 3, then we will say that body 2 and body 3 will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. This is what zeroth law of thermodynamics. And for example, if somebody has some fever, how will you measure it? How will you measure it? Mute your mics. Mute your mics. Number 3, you respond. How will you measure the temperature of our body?
Thermometer, sir.
Thermometer. So that thermometer, for example, you take thermometer as body 3, right?
Sir.
Thermometer as body 3, and the body is our human body, for example. And this thermometer has to be calibrated first with say a steam point or ice point, like this. This is either ice or steam, for example, first ice, and if it records, thermometer records 0 degree centigrade, say, then what will you do here? Say, for example, you put this bulb in ice, and for example, it somewhere here, somewhere at lower point, it is 0. And if you put this bulb at 100, that is steam point, and if it rises to this level, say you mark this as 100. And in between 0 and 100, you make some 100 divisions. Each division giving 10 degrees centigrade. Like that. Mute your mic.
A healthy home is a happy home. Where we bring the outdoors in. Tasty too. Where we switch off and switch on family time. Only at home. After all, when it comes to eating, your home is full of.
Hello, number 16 and 45. Who is number 16? How is a thermometer calibrated? A thermometer is calibrated by two standard points, ice point and steam point. I told you. Ice point reads 0 degree centigrade and steam point reads 100 degree centigrade. And after making these 2 points on thermometer, and between these two scales, say a number of divisions are made. And when this thermometer, if it is, for example, this is thermometer and this is human body, and this is standard, of course, a standard ice or steam point, steam, for example. And this is calibrated. Body 3, which is thermometer, is calibrated. And that means body 1 is in thermal equilibrium, body 3. Body 1 is in thermal equilibrium with body 3. And now, even though this body 1 is not in contact with body 2, in real contact with body 2, if we say that if body 1 and body 1 is in thermal equilibrium with body 3 and body 3 is in thermal equilibrium with body 2, then body 2 will be in thermal equilibrium with body 1. In either way you can tell. Ante meer elagayana cheppochu. In the first case I said if a certain body 1 is in thermal equilibrium with body 2 and simultaneously with body 3, then we say that body 2 and body 3 will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. In that way, a thermometer, the temperature scale has been established. A temperature scale has been established. And why the law, zeroth law, is named so? This is also very important. By the time zeroth law is invented, the first and second laws are already invented. And the scientist who has invented this temperature scale, that is zeroth law, he named his law as zeroth law because he felt that this could have been invented prior to first and second laws are invented, and therefore to form a logical sequence he named this law as zeroth law. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్ లాస్ కనిపెట్టక ముందే ఇది కనిపెట్టి ఉండాల్సింది అని ఈ జీరోత్ టెంపరేచర్ స్కేల్ కనుక్కున్న సైంటిస్టు అనుకొని దీన్ని జీరోత్ లా అని నేమ్ చేశాడు, పేరు పెట్టాడు. దట్ ఈజ్ వై దిస్ లా ఈజ్ నేమ్డ్ యాజ్ జీరోత్ లా. ఫస్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్ లాస్ కనిపెట్టిన తర్వాత ఈ జీరోత్ లా కనిపెట్టారు. అప్పుడు ఏమనుకున్నాడంటే ఫస్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్ లాస్ కంటే ముందే ఇది కనిపెట్టి ఉండాల్సింది అని చెప్పేసి దీన్ని జీరోత్ లా అని పేరు పెట్టాడు. అండ్ అగైన్ ది థర్మామీటర్, హౌ థర్మామీటర్ has come into picture and what is its thermometric property, we here defined. I told you there are two reference points, ice point and steam point, and between these two some gradings, divisions are made, and if it is mercury in glass thermometer, different divisions are made, and if you put this mercury in glass thermometer into a glass containing hot water, and if it records 30 degrees centigrade or 40 degrees centigrade, you will say that you will say this by knowing the length of the mercury raised in the glass in thermometer. Mercury in glass thermometer. So here the thermometric property which we use here is the length of mercury, that is raised. So in mercury in glass thermometer, here the thermometric property, actual thermometric property is the length raised. Similarly, there are several thermometers. He see here the height of mercury column in a thermometer becomes a thermometric property. There are other methods of temperature measurement which uses various properties of materials, which are functions of temperature, thermometric property. There are certain thermometers called constant volume gas thermometer, constant pressure gas thermometer, mercury in glass thermometer, electrical resistance thermometer, thermocouple, radiation pyrometer. The thermometric property, I said mercury in glass thermometer, the thermometric property is length of mercury. Similarly, a constant volume gas thermometer, the property used is pressure. A constant volume thermometer, gas thermometer, constant pressure is the property. A constant pressure gas thermometer, volume is the property. And electrical resistance thermometer, resistance is the property. A thermocouple, electromotive force is the property. And a pyrometer, a radiation pyrometer or pyrometer, intensity of radiation. So using these thermometers, 6 types of thermometers, different temperatures of different gas and fluids can be measured as with using different properties. So we will end this at this point, and again I tell you that your entry and exit is recorded thoroughly, and therefore you should be alert. And those who spares full time, they only will be given attendance. Okay. However, I stop at this point to enable the next teacher to enter into